What a bunch of hypocrites, huh? But wait a minute. Maybe we have to look into the mirror once in a while. I remember a time when the Catholic Church was much more legalistic. Let me tell you this story. I think I've told it before, but it fits in so well with today's gospel. When I was a young boy, many of you maybe remember this if you're my age, a few of you around that age, we had to fast from midnight before we could take communion on Sunday. So 11:59 Saturday, midnight, that's it. Nothing, not even water. So in those days, I lived on 19th Street, and we belonged to St. Bridget's Parish on 14th Street. So one Sunday, I was going to be an altar server, and I leave the house, and I pop some gum in my mouth. And then I realized about 2 blocks away from church that I wanted to go to communion. Did this break my fast? So I spit the gum out. When I got to church, I asked the priest and sacristy father, on my way to Mass this morning, I was chewing some gum, but I spit it out. Does that break my fast? And the pastor said, what kind of gum was it? I thought, this is crazy. I'm 9 years old, but still, it was crazy. I said, spearmint. He said, oh, good. Then you can go to communion. I said, what's the difference? He said, well, spearmint only has 1 tablespoon of sugar, and double bubble has 2. 2 tablespoons break your fast, 1 tablespoon does not. I think that's the day I decided I need to be a priest and change all this. So let me ask a question. Why do we, during Lent, not eat meat on Friday? When I was growing up, we didn't eat meat any Friday of the year. 52 Fridays were meatless. But now it's just during Lent. Why do we not eat meat on Friday? Anyone, tell me an answer. Anyone know? The answer I usually get is because we're Catholic. That's our tradition. No. Jesus died on a Friday. We call it Good Friday. And if he gave up his life, gave up his flesh, his body on Friday, then we can give up flesh meat. So that's the spiritual background to it, Fridays. Well, let me tell you another example of finding loopholes in the law. For 6 years, I studied in our nation's capital, Washington, D.C., at the Catholic University of America. And one Friday night, some of the older guys, upperclassmen in the seminary, said, Bill, let's go to the Old Ebbitt Grill, a very famous restaurant in the district, and have a good steak dinner. I said, it's Friday. We can't have meat. They said, oh, we'll go to Arlington first, then we'll come back. I didn't know what that meant, but then I found out. You see, the Catholic Church cannot tell the military what menus to serve on Friday. So if you're in the military, on a base, you eat whatever is on the menu for the military. It might be fish, it could be beef, it could be chicken, whatever. And so there's a rule that if you are traveling to a place that has a different law than you have, you kind of pick that law up and it clings to your soul till midnight. So here's what we did that Friday night. We left the district, crossed Arlington Memorial Bridge. Now we're in Arlington County, military base. We picked up that law that said we can have meat on Friday. We made a U-turn back across the Arlington Bridge, went to the Old Ebbitt Grill in Washington, and had a wonderful steak dinner. Legally, we were correct. That wasn't the spirit of the law, don't eat meat on Friday. That was a little loophole that we Pharisees took advantage of. One more question. Why do we fast, abstain during Lent, give up things, candy, sugar, smoking, liquor, whatever? Why did we do that for the 40 days of Lent? Anyone? To sacrifice? Okay, good. To imitate what Jesus did. For 40 days, he fasted. I remember asking this question during the adult education class I had a few years ago, and it was an older woman who answered, but she said, when I was a little girl, this is what my mom told me why we give up candy during Lent. So we lose weight and can fit into our Easter clothes. Really? You see, that's what Jesus was attacking. He was attacking what we now call Phariseeism, legalism, finding loopholes. The big people make laws for the little people to obey. Jesus said, no more. We must follow the spirit of the law. The one particular law that he was talking about is that Jewish people are not supposed to eat pork. It's called unclean. Why? I'm not sure. I think maybe perhaps a lot of people got sick from eating pork that wasn't well cooked. They got a disease called trichinosis. So the Jewish people said, let's just make it unclean. No one will get sick again. Same thing, they made the rule, wash your hands before dinner. Well, that's just common hygiene. I was told that by my mom when I was a little kid. But Jesus said, if you eat pork, to his Jewish audience, if you eat pork, are you immoral? Are you a great sinner? Are you horrible? Really, does pork entering your mouth make you a bad, bad person? I don't think so. Even if a Jewish person does it by accident, okay, it was an accident. Even if they do it intentionally. Ideally, they just want some pork sausage. Okay, they broke their Jewish law, but they're not evil, immoral, horrible people. Same thing for us on the Fridays of Lent. You forget and pull up to a McDonald's and grab a hamburger. Oh, it's Friday. Okay, you forgot. Maybe you're invited to a party on Friday and the only dish they're serving is meat. Well, don't embarrass your host or hostess. Go ahead and eat the meat. Take another day in Lent and don't eat meat. Again, what enters our mouth, Jesus talking about food, doesn't make us immoral. He says what comes from without, what comes out of our person, what comes from our hearts, that's what's defiling. That whole list of sins, evil thoughts, unchastity, adultery, theft, murder, arrogance, greed, folly, and on, all those things that were listed. So that's what Jesus was saying. Don't worry about the man-made laws, the human precepts, God's law. God's law is to be Christ-like. Now, I'm sure that some of your neighbors are edified by your Sunday Mass attendance. They see you leaving your house at 12 o'clock, 12:10 to get here on time. They say, wow, that's a really good Catholic family. They go to church every Sunday, that church on the corner of Russell and Mesa Park. That's 1 hour that they see you practicing your faith, and I'm edified by your attendance here. What about the rest of the week? I was given this guilt trip as a kid. Do everything in life, but imagine your mother is watching you do everything you do. Well, that shaped me up pretty much to be a good little boy. Well, God is watching. And God isn't watching to catch us or zap us dead. But we need to be Christians not 1 hour a week, 12:30 to 1:30 Sunday afternoons. We need to be Christians 168 hours a week. That's what Jesus is saying. That's what James said in the second reading. Be not hearers of the word, be doers of the word. We need to do God's work. Not just praying and receiving communion on a day called Sunday, but 7 days a week, 52 weeks a year, always doing God's work. I would hate to be called a hypocrite, one who only practices my faith for show to impress others. Let us take Jesus' challenge. Be doers of the word. Practice what we preach. Listen to the voice of God. How is God leading you? Be doers of the word. Practice what you preach. Today, tomorrow, and all next week.